start off right away.
Yeah.
You've probably seen in your locker rooms people get fan mail, things like that. Things come through. Have you ever had a fan send you a custom T-shirt? They took time out of their day to make a T-shirt just for you.
No, I've had cards to sign. I've had letters. I've kind of weird stuff, to be honest with you, but never a T-shirt. Why?
Well, because you do now. So we got this in the mail here the other day. Subscribe to Thanalysis, a shirt sent from our guy just for you. Look at that picture on there.
Yo, subscribe to Thanalysis. That's how we start our show.
That's
subscribe,
the message right there.
Comment. Thank you. What's it? Did he say the name? Something?
His name's Tony. Tony W. Yeah, it
Another
wasn't me.
Tony.
I promise. I didn't make the shirt.
Another Tony. Thank you, Tony, man. You're amazing, man. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for subscribing, supporting the show. I started doing something I love, and now it's all over the place. I love it. I love it.
It's taking off.
Hold on, keep this.
There you go. Yeah. Would you rather have a pet tiger or a pet penguin?
Look at that. I'd rather have a pet tiger or a pet penguin. I think a pet tiger. It is more maintenance though. Like it's more like work to upkeep and stuff like that. But I think a pet tiger is way cooler. I think, and feed all the cats. By the way, don't put me out there. Feed all the cats, and I'm not the. What was the show? It was called Tiger King. Or was that the show? Like, yeah, no. But I'll definitely, if I could, there's one of the, I think, pet tiger would be one of them.
And the top 5 comedians you want to see live.
Cat Williams. I want to see Cat Williams live. I want to see it. I want to see him live. Dave Chappelle. I want to see him live. I've seen Kevin Hart. I've not seen him live already. Ronnie Chang. Hit that, tag him on this post. Ronnie Chang. I want to see him live. I saw him a little bit, but then he gave us a teaser. Him and Sam, like those two guys, I want to see them. Like Sam Morrill too, like two guys. But then I want to give 2 shout outs to. I want to see Ian Lara, like one of my. You guys saw him season 1. He's so funny. And I want to see him live. I never got the chance. I'm in New York. Like usually when I'm in New York, like we always play and we always do. Like I didn't get the chance to see him. I want to see him, and I want to see Stav. Crazy. I want to see that. I want to see that. Like I want to just sit and enjoy him go crazy. So Stav. Shout out to Stav, man. Grig's in the house. So
Your top 3 favorite desserts. They don't have to even be in order.
So, top 3 favorite desserts. They're mostly Greek, though. I'm going to let you picture all
That's
that.
cool.
Okay. Oh, actually, no. 2 Greek and 1 American. Okay, so I'm a big fan of croissants. European. I'm a big fan of croissants in general. Second dessert. Now, this is Greek. Okay, it's called galaktoboureko. But that's like when I touched down in Athens, that's the first thing that I get. Like, it's so crazy that people know that that's my favorite dessert that I would have like my fans who send me like galaktoboureko like everywhere. They would send me. I remember when we won the championship, I went home and I had like 4 or 5 boxes just from the random people like in my doorstep. It was crazy. So that's my favorite dessert, galaktoboureko. And the third one is my third one. I'm in between 2. Can I say both?
Yeah, give me both.
Okay, so the first one is like I don't know if you can call it. It's considered American. It's like banana pudding. Top notch. I'm like, I have a great day. Like if I have a banana pudding, I really have a great day. Like it's not even over exaggeration. And then the other one, I'm between that and the other one's Greek. It's pagoto kaimaki. It's ice cream. But I don't know how to call it. With masticha. I don't know what masticha is. Mm-mm. Please don't know what masticha is. You're gonna be amazed. It's something incredible. So you guys should try this. Pagoto kaimaki. Remember, Thanasis on Thanalysis show. Welcome to another episode of Thanalysis show, guys. With your one and only Thanasis Antetokounmpo. You guys have been amazing, man. I like not only the follow and the support and everything, and the get well soon messages and everything. I really appreciate you guys, but like You guys shared it so much. I have so many people want to come on the show, but you got to join the waiting list because I want to have only special people. You know, it starts from Milwaukee and then it spreads all around the world. It starts from Milwaukee, USA, and then it spreads all around the world. But today, I have somebody special, and you know I got to give her the intro, right? So, from Northwestern University, wing number 11, your Milwaukee Bucks TV voice, Lisa Byington.
Oh,
Let's
my
go.
goodness. That is something I wasn't expecting.
Thank you. I try to make it like.
You got the number right, the university. You've already done your research. I'm already impressed.
I'm adding a little bit more sauce and spice to it every time, but
I felt like you had a little bit more to give.
I did.
You know, I tell budding broadcasters when you got the big moment, you can give a little bit more. Don't hold back. I felt like you were holding back. You want to try it again?
Yes.
One more time?
Okay. So Northwestern University, we're number 11. Your one and only, your TV voice for the Milwaukee Bucks, Lisa Byington.
Hey,
Thank you. It was back to back, and
that felt better, didn't it?
my soul did.
You felt it deep in
felt
your
it.
soul, you know?
I felt it felt better. So okay, hold up. I showed you this here, and I was doing some research. What have you not done? Like you've done like play-by-play, you've done the sideline stuff, like in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like
I don't say no to anything. Is that crazy? I mean, within
No.
a professional setting, of course. And
yeah, obviously, but like, hey, please, I put the
this
disclaimer.
is a family show.
Yes.
Right? It's well, you know, going back to you mentioned Northwestern University,
Yeah.
trying to get in the business. I didn't know, like, I played basketball in college, so I didn't know that offers you an opportunity to maybe be an analyst.
Yeah.
I love telling stories. That gives you an opportunity to be a sideline reporter. I kind of fell into the play-by-play stuff when I was doing local news in Lansing, Michigan.
Yes.
And the Big Ten Network began when I was in Lansing, Michigan, and they were looking for anyone. You know, it was year number 1. And so I just said, hey, how hard can it be? You know, it's like,
Oh,
isn't
shoot.
it like being like a sports anchor? And they're like,
Yeah.
no, it's actually really different. So I gave it a whirl. Michigan State, Indiana, women's basketball was my first game I ever did. And I was horrible at it. I didn't know what I was doing.
Why?
Didn't
What
know.
happened?
You know, I got used to watching games as a fan. And so, you know, someone commits a foul, I had to remind myself during the game, oh, now it's my job to say, like, they got 3 personal fouls, or they, you know, like, I got caught watching the game, and I was like, oh, I got to call the game.
Okay.
You know, but you just got to try a little bit of everything before you really find your passion.
Yes.
And I just truly believe that if you say no to things early when you're trying to figure it out, you will close doors. And so saying yes to opportunity is what I say. Saying yes to opportunity will open up doors to a lot of opportunities and to a lot of people. You start networking and you can take off from there.
It's not necessarily big key to successful. It's networking. But okay, then, I mean, okay, now you're in with us now with the Bucks. How has it been? Like, how is the Bucks been for you? Like, how is this, you know, Milwaukee
It's
treat
been
you?
awesome. It's been awesome. You know, when the opportunity came,
Yes.
it was a no-brainer. So I came right after the championship. So this
Yeah.
is, I know I just finished year number 3. And I remember, you know, watching the championship and watching the Deer District and the cameras panning over the thousands and thousands of fans. And I was thinking to myself, what a great organization, you know?
Thank you.
And right. No, I mean, but like, and your brother, for one, is a different face of the franchise. He's a different kind of superstar. He's a relatable guy, you know, and that to me drew me in as well. But it's been a great organization. It's been a great experience. I get to work with great people.
Yes.
It's a championship contending team year in and year out.
Always got a chance.
A generational player. and Giannis.
Thank you.
And you keep saying thank you.
Yeah, he would
Like,
probably disagree with you. I'm just thank you. You know, it's and the reason I say thank you is because moments like this, whenever somebody gives a comment to one of my family members, I say thank you as a family. He's not here to represent, but I'll say thank you.
You'll say thank you for him.
Yeah.
I love it. And, you know, I love that part of his story. I love that part of your story, your family's story, is that you guys are just so connected, right? And the family is so tight-knit that you just don't see that. You don't see that in professional sports or at that level, a superstar at that level who appreciates where he came from and the people who helped him get there.
Yeah, it's I'm so proud of him. It's like he's mostly off the court, not even on the court. On the court it's okay, but like the off the court stuff and just like who he is as a person, I'm so like really, really proud of him. Stuff like that. But okay, going back to college, like you did play some, you know, we're soccer fans, right? I heard you played basketball and soccer.
I did.
Is that true?
I did. So I went to Northwestern on a basketball scholarship for 4 years. And my first year, my freshman year, is when the soccer team started at Northwestern University.
Yeah.
So I remember the soccer coach, she did her research. She was just trying to find athletes. She was just trying to field a team. So I remember walking in the weight room to do a weight workout for basketball. And she stopped me and she said, "Hey, I saw you were All-State in Michigan playing soccer. Would you want to play on the soccer team?" And I said, "Heck no." Like, like going to Northwestern with academics and that sort of thing, playing basketball, like those were 2 full-time jobs, in my opinion. I couldn't pick up like another thing, you know? So really what I said, not now, you know? And so I played my freshman, sophomore year, just basketball. And then I got the itch and I came back to her and said, I would love to try to walk on, you know, because I had scholarship with basketball. I would love to try to walk on to the soccer team. Will you still have me? She said, "Yeah, absolutely." And I'll share this story with you. And this is the difference between someone who believes in you and the words that they give you can make a difference. So one of my favorite stories ever to tell was with my soccer coach, my college soccer coach. I got, you know, minimal playing time. I was a walk-on. So we were going to play Ohio State, and there was no score. And the day before, my soccer coach came up to me at practice, and she said, "Lisa," so I was fast, right? That was my thing. I just ran around and I was fast. Basketball, soccer, I was all over the place. And she said, "Hey, I think we can use your speed and attack Ohio State's defense tomorrow, so I'm going to use you." So first half, 0-0 score. She says, "Lisa B, get in." So I got in, and like, you know, first couple of possessions, my teammate is taking it down like the right flank. Crosses it in. And I see it, it's like a movie, right? And the ball's like spinning in the air, and in the air, like slow motion. I headed it in. It was my first college soccer goal. And the walk-on scored. So everyone's going crazy. And I'm jumping in the air and fist pumping. And all I could hear was her voice in my head and what she told me at practice. She said, "When you go in the game, I want you to go at them with your heart and your hunger."
Yes.
And so I heard that as the ball was in the air. Heart and hunger, heart and hunger, heart and hunger. And I headed it in the goal. And everyone went crazy. And would you know, Thanasis, that we won that match 7-0?
7-0.
Like my goal like sparked everyone because they got hyped. And they
went crazy.
And it's one of my favorite college stories. It's one of my favorite sports stories. And it's one of my favorite stories to tell because I don't know if I would have had the confidence as a walk-on to get in there against one of the top teams in the Big Ten in that conference if my coach hadn't shown the confidence in me to do it. How about that?
Sorry, but that's sports. That's belief. You know, that's the name of the game. As I say, that's the in its purest form of like, you know, how it starts and how like something can change your mindset. Yeah. That lets you know how mental is the games are, the sports are. Right. Man, so okay, then you kind of call like some of the Olympic games.
I call Olympics. I've called the World Cup.
Soccer games, yes, the World Cup, yes.
And you know, I'll say this. So basketball, the sport of basketball, probably a lot like you and maybe in your family, I focus more on my basketball craft. Soccer was something I did for fun, you know, and soccer was kind of in between basketball seasons. But I love calling games. I called Marta. She scored the most goals in the World Cup in 2019, and I remember it came on a PK, and I was on the call for it, so that was cool. But yeah, the Olympics was in 2020, so there weren't any fans, so it was kind of a different sort of experience.
Yes.
But I mean, how many people can say that? A World Cup, Olympics. I'm proud of being able to call the NCAA tournament on the men's side. I'm proud to be the NBA Bucks announcer
that's
and
what
the
I'm
voice,
saying. You're
and
special.
then the TV voice here.
Special, man. But okay, and then did you meet any like when you call the games? I know 2020 was no fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, have you ever met any soccer players, any fans, or is this mostly being like?
No, it's pretty professional. I mean, I called. It was in Mexico, so it was the World Cup qualifier, the most recent World Cup qualifier in Mexico, and I will say this: like, it's just to call the U.S. women's national team is an absolute honor, and Alex Morgan, and it was Megan Rapinoe's last year, cycling through.
Yes.
So. You try to, and I think you appreciate this. You try to give professional athletes the space that they need.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the space.
That's 100%. That's like we call it sports etiquette. We call it towards not media and players, but like the surrounding of like our team. It's layers to the team. It comes from like obviously coaches, GM, etc., players, etc. Then it goes to coaching staff, athletic director, then it goes to sportscasters, everybody who follows us on the road, and then it grows more and more and more to media that follows us on the road, and
everybody wants something from you.
Not necessarily.
I mean, that sounds harsh, but you have to understand that your time is very precious, and so I understand that. I appreciate like everything that they do, but I wasn't in spaces to get to know them on a personal level, but I was definitely in the space to be able to call it on a professional level, and just it's amazing to watch them.
Are you gonna call our game okay? Hopefully we go to the Olympics. Hopefully Team Greece makes it to the Olympics, and we're there. But are you gonna call any Olympics this year? Are you gonna call any there?
I'm not. I took some time off.
Okay. Yeah, now you take time off. The best time of the year. We about to compete.
It's the summer, It's the summer.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're now in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Everything. I didn't ask you what's your favorite thing to do in Milwaukee?
I love walking over by the water. I'm a water person. I've always been a water person. So I know you're looking at me like.
No, I'm a water person. I was born and raised in Greece. Like it's just water everywhere.
Okay.
So.
Okay. But for me, like I grew up in Michigan, and it's not like there wasn't water in Michigan. I mean, it's the Great Lakes state, right?
Yeah.
But to live so close to the water, and it's just when I need time for myself, walking, running, that sort of thing. Love to do it on the water.
Okay. Now you do all these things. What do you do on the road when you're traveling? Like,
I'm super boring on the road. I study.
What do you study?
So we got these things. They're called in the business we call them broadcasting boards.
Okay.
So it's about this big, right?
Yes.
And it's got players' names, info, where they're from, stats, that sort of thing. There's way more that goes into TV than people realize.
So take us through it. What is the behind the scenes, the preparation?
So on a game day, we have a production meeting that morning with everybody who's involved with the telecast. So the people who are doing the pregame, postgame.
So let's say I'm part of the team. It's me, you, put Mr.
Marcus, Steve Novak, Melanie Ricks, our producer, our director.
Okay, so all of us in the meeting.
Yeah.
So how does that go?
All of us. So we go through what's called an open, because you have to start out the broadcast with something, talking about something. So I would say, Thanasis, what are you passionate about? What do you want to look for? What are things you're looking for with this game? You would throw out some ideas. I would throw out some ideas. We collaborate. The producer ultimately, I think, makes the final decision. You know, so we go through all that. Digest stats, research. We got research teams that send us stuff all the time. I listen to every pregame and postgame, because you can learn a lot from all that stuff, from the coaches and the players. What they say, what they don't say,
Yeah.
And so I go through, I listen to all that, I read some features, and then I'll always actually go watch. I mean, I watch every single Bucks game, obviously, because we're calling it, but I will go back and watch at least the last game of the opponent that we're playing, just to get a sense of what the most recent storylines are for them. In particular, like if a player got hurt, how he got hurt, how the team adjusted, all that stuff. So. It's you never feel like you're done, working and prepping, but it's way more. Like if you ever sat have you been in a production truck?
Have I? No, not really. I don't
game?
think so. For a
Yeah,
game, no,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, you should just ask
That's
Doc
it. I'll
sometime.
like,
Be like, hey man, can I?
Doc, coach, give me like 10 minutes. I'll be back.
Just for 10 minutes.
I know that in the garage, right? If I go straight, it's the right side.
Oh,
Right?
it's like close to where you guys park. It's
Yeah.
it's right on the way. I'm sure that would be fine.
I
But you would be amazed. My point is, you would be amazed at the activity. I mean, in a truck, there's anywhere from like 15 to 20 people,
Okay.
and they all have different jobs. You know, you have a director who's calling out the camera shots. You know, you'll constantly hear that director talking. Take camera 1, get ready camera 2, take camera 2. If we mention Thanasis, you know, like we show you all the time, cheering on the sideline, right? And it's great video.
Oh
It's
my
great
God.
TV. But if we're talking about it,
Yeah.
you got to see it. So
Yeah.
you got to get there in some way. The director has to talk to the camera people who are working to get Thanasis
they'll be like,
on the sideline.
like camera number 4, Thanasis.
Give me
the bench.
Thanasis. Give me Thanasis.
Really?
And like, our crew here in Wisconsin is the best. I mean, you hear me say Thanasis, and like that, we're seeing you.
Oh shoot!
like,
Okay,
they're
okay. I gotta
awesome.
watch out.
They're
I gotta
awesome.
watch out. I can't do it.
Yeah, you got a camera on
I gotta.
you the whole
Oh
time,
my
but-
God! I gotta watch out. But okay.
But there's graphics, there's
Yeah.
replays, there's like those replays that you see just don't like pop up out of nowhere. You got to have a producer calling the different angles. You got to have someone working the machine on the spot. Like it's a lot of pressure.
So next time about the replays. What happens, and players who listen or who watch this know exactly what I mean. What happens when it's a questionable call, but you never see it up top, the replay?
Yeah.
When you play away games, you never see it up top if it's questionable. You notice
No.
that?
Yeah, well, that's designed. So if you, all the home teams will play it.
Okay.
If it's going to be positive or if it's going to spark a reaction, you'll notice like if they're trying to get Bucks fans riled up, you might see it. You might see
Yeah,
it
you
on
might see
the
the
big
replay. Okay.
screen. But if it's the other way, like we won't show it here in Milwaukee, and then you won't see it in other arenas either. So it's very intentional.
Okay,
in that
that's
way.
what I wanted to say because I was like, okay, it
Yeah.
has to be, but like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
The other question I have is like, what about like people who call games and they talk shit during the games? What about that?
Like, is there a rivalry between broadcasters? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Both. I'm saying like we go to arenas and they like we'll be shooting or something like, Thanasis or Giannis or Dame, like people who are calling the games.
Yeah, I would like to say that our broadcast is one of the most professional.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, we don't talk like that. Marcus likes to have a little fun sometimes. And with some of the players, he's gotten himself into trouble a little bit. But
Okay.
I play it, straight and narrow kind of thing. But I remember the Denver broadcast during our game. They were talking about Giannis with his free throws. Did you ever see that clip?
No, they're just
They were
salty.
talking
They're
about
just salty, bro. Not the Denver. I'm just saying in general, like people who watch the free throws.
But they're broadcasters.
Yeah.
Made it a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the
That's
so-
unprofessional, though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why it's unprofessional. Because it doesn't go to the sport. We're all here to go to the sport, but what you're doing is just like, you're actually creating a division on like, not losing the job, but like, I get you're now with Denver, but it's the NBA. You could be with anybody the next day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's good.
Well, we don't do it. We like to.
You know what I
think
mean?
we're professional.
I don't know if it's wise to kind of, you have somebody in town and, Steph Curry shooting free throws and you can start saying, oh, Steph Curry, and all of a sudden you're out of the job next day.
Right,
And then
right.
the next team you want to go
Yeah.
is to the Warriors.
Yeah.
I don't think that's wise,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
We
Up to you.
try. I think what we try to do is we try to call it the way it is.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
way- if it's-
like the Pacers game in December, it got a little testy, and
Mm-hmm.
I think at the time, we thought that there were some players on the team that hadn't accomplished a whole lot yet. They were acting like they had accomplished everything that, a Dame or a Giannis had to accomplish. I thought I thought the celebrations were a little premature.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think if you
I'll tell you
present it in that way,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
No, that's cool. I'm just saying when you go overboard, or you go like,
Yeah.
let's say, or you take somebody's character, or you go like, the game is the game. I don't know, whatever. About made a bad pass, or like, oh my God, he threw the ball in the stands. Like, whatever. He did it. Okay, cool. But what I'm saying is when you go overboard, then all of a sudden now it becomes like a little bit more, and then you get attacked on Twitter, and then you go like, no, that's not what I mean, and then now you gotta like backtrack for no reason because you just didn't. You just wasn't professional. And about the Pacers game as well, like it was great. Like for me personally, I got they won and play-ins, and now they were great. Even now in the playoffs, like they were great. I think the most important thing for me was that we both understand that it's part of the game. You know, you win, you lose some, you win some. You know, like this is the difference between winners and losers. They literally they're both the same person.
Yeah.
It's just winners win most of the time,
Right.
and lose occasionally.
Right.
And losers lose all the time and win occasionally. That's all it is. So I think the point of the story of like each story, you know, you see Ant now like with the Denver Nuggets. You see like players like it's part of the game. That's what grows the game. Now if he gets over the line, you see the situation with Isaiah Stewart and
We thought it was borderline over the line. I felt like
Yeah.
it a little bit that game. But you know, here's the deal though. I love guys who play with a little chip. I do. So
you have to. This is the game.
Yeah, it's like that's part of being a competitor, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to discourage that. But if it gets to, there's a difference between playing with a chip and being disrespectful,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh, 100%.
So if it starts bordering disrespectful,
100%.
then I think that deserves a call out.
Yeah. No, 100%. But you see, like, it just don't try to create some. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, is like don't try to create something out of nothing. Like, don't try to be like, oh my God, these guys hate each other when they actually don't hate each other. Oh my God, look what he's doing. Like, it's okay. Like, imagine if we were out there and playing a pickup game. Guys talk crazy. I mean, obviously it's the NBA, and you can be like, okay, pick up an NBA. But I'm saying like, some guys, that's their character. They're not doing it on purpose. That's how that's their demeanor, you know. But going back to before, I was like, okay, but you've called the WNBA games. Is it harder WNBA or basketball? Is this the same thing?
Is it hard? What do you mean? Is it?
I'm saying, like, I'll give an example. Do you find yourself? I mean, obviously, basketball is basketball. Any game you call, but like with the amount of stuff that happens in the NBA and outside of the sidelines and things in the bench and things there, like, do you think it's more things going on in the NBA than the WNBA, or is it the same thing? It's just you don't.
We're talking about outside the court.
Yeah.
It's starting to be that way.
It's starting to be, yeah.
Well, I mean, you got more characters and you got more coverage, right?
Yes.
So you add characters to the game and you add coverage to the game,
Yes.
and you got more interesting things to talk about. You got, I don't want to say the word drama because it's almost too dramatic.
Yeah, it
but
is.
It just makes everything more interesting, you know? I love seeing the growth of the game. It's awesome. And, you know, being a women's basketball player where I grew up, Thanasis, and like, when I grew up, I could only watch men's basketball on TV. You know, the only time women's basketball was on TV is when it was like the Final Four, you know, and it was always like the same four teams. And so I had role models that had to be men because that's all I watched. You know, one of my first role models was actually Scott Skiles. So, so I don't know if people in Milwaukee appreciate that being the coach here, but he played at Michigan State, and I grew up in the state of Michigan, and so I just appreciated the way that he played. You talk about a chip on the shoulder, like he had the socks pulled up. He was always talking trash to everyone, and I just appreciated his toughness and his competitiveness. But I didn't have a choice, you know, like it had to be some sort of male athlete that I looked up to. So now when you see commercials, right, where they're now crossing over with NBA players and WNBA players, like, I love that. And I give credit to, I won't throw the brands out there because, again, they're not paying me. But
no, but it's credit to the companies, credit to the league that's pushing this.
Yeah, but it's like you're not going to not buy a car because you see a WNBA player and an NBA player on that commercial, you know? You're not going to buy chips, you know, like because you see a WNBA player with an NBA player. It's only going to add to it and broaden the consumers who are going to be interested in that product. And so to see that transformation is awesome because that was not even a choice or an option when I was growing up.
Man, it's changed so much. I'm so excited. You know, I had Enrique Gumbawale on the pod.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like, this podcast is going to have everybody. Like, I'm going to have everybody from this one.
Okay, so this is why I love being on here because, like, I can't wait for your off-the-wall questions. Like, you're going to be like, hey, Lisa, did you know that,
it's coming.
That snakes have 5 hearts? And I'll be like, no, Thanasis, tell me more about that. But, no, I mean, you get like, players, you get coaches, you get entertainers, you get broadcasters, probably going to get like accountants and
So
restaurant owners and whatever.
So it's called Thanalysis. So basically, Thanalysis is my analysis of the world, right? So now what you're basically getting, it's a way through my lens and my life to who people I'm interested with and I'm interviewing. So you actually might this season on Thursdays. I'm trying to still push her to do it. You might get my mom actually in the podcast, and she's gonna talk a little bit about how, what's the 60 as a mom, like growing all these guys and nurturing these guys into be. Not NBA players, forget about NBA players, just being part of us and just like, is it discipline? Is it this? What other factors, what comes into it. But the other thing is they get to learn from me, but I get to learn from my guests. That's why I keep asking, like, they might be simple, like, how do you call this game out? But I really don't know,
Yeah.
And now with WNBA, which is very, very excited, I want to get a lot of players from WNBA. And I'm guilty of this. Like, I didn't really watch a lot of WNBA. Not because I'm not here, but I'm not even from here.
Well, you got to start this summer. This is the best summer to start.
I'm already on the
Everybody who's not even a basketball fan now is watching the WNBA
I'm already on it.
So you got to
it's
get
over
on
with
board.
now. But, I was like watching highlights. And the only people I really was watching, like, Enrique, Connie Spark, like, and my friends, like, Brilliant Hartley, or, like, I just had, like, AJ Wilson. Like, I have, like, people who are I actually, like, knew and met somewhere. I'd be like, oh, let me go watch her highlights. Let me go watch her game. Oh, she's playing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited. I'm really excited about WNBA. But I want to ask you the next question. Okay, so if you could sit down, right, would you say which one was more physical, the NBA, or the WNBA, or the NBA?
It's a different kind of physicality.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're both physical.
Yeah,
they're both physical.
But why do I ask that? Do you think trash talk in the NBA and NBA is different?
Yeah. But I think the WNBA is going to get there. So this is why I hesitate with all your. Let me just say this. This is why I hesitate with all your NBA versus WNBA questions, because I forget what year we are in the WNBA, but it's like year 26 or 27 now, and the NBA is like year 76. We just had the 75th anniversary. Yeah. So let's compare the NBA in year 26 or 27. To what the WNBA is 100%, now. And 100%. So it's hard for me to say, well, it's this, and this, because to me, we're still comparing apples to oranges, and it's hard to say, well, the physicality's not there, or the attention, or, because the WNBA is building and it's getting there.
Yeah, no, but that's why I'm asking. I'm not saying it no in no regards of like WNBA versus NBA, there's the NBA, but I'm asking like, okay, like, because, okay, let's say example, like in future I have a daughter or I have like a niece or whatever. They go to WNBA, right? Mm-hmm. And we try to coach her like, hey, a bunch of uncles who played in the NBA, you got a bunch of uncles who play professional sports. And we go like, hey, like, we want you to be aggressive. You got to play like us, like how we play. Like be aggressive and be your demeanor and, like give everything you have out there and stuff like that. But like, does that translate to the WNBA? That's what I'm asking. Like, does that translate? Like,
oh gosh, yeah. If you look, we
talk
about ballers being ballers.
Yeah.
If you're a baller, you're a baller.
Yeah.
If you're a competitor, you're a competitor.
Okay.
And that's how it works.
Yeah, I'm just asking because I don't want to like in the case be like, that doesn't really.
If you have a daughter, you raise your daughter to be a competitor, right? And you let everything else take care of themselves. Okay. I think you got like a competitive gene in your family, right?
Yeah, we do. Like that's part of our trait, DNA wise. But like, I'm asking because like a lot of people don't see that in women's sports. I'm the opposite, but I just want you to confirm this for me because I'm like, no, it's the same thing, and you gotta be for like any sport you play. It doesn't matter women's, men's.
It's funny you bring that up though. There actually is a WNBA commercial out right now where it plays to that, where there's a person who's narrating it, and she's like, all the new fans, welcome to the WNBA. We like to say that, we're friendly with our competitors, and then it cuts to a shot with like Asia Wilson coming at you, and
I love this.
We're good sports, and like there's another shot of someone else going at someone else, and then hitting game winners and all that. So man, like competition's competition. It's it's not gender based. It's not like you got to hold someone back because they're a female or anything. Like let them go. Let the reins loose and let them go.
It has to become international. Like I think one of the things with the NBA as well became international. Like how many people, like how many like women in Greece, like people all around the world like love basketball. They want to be a part of it. And they dream to come to the WNBA. Yeah. And one more thing, like I wish the season was longer. Because the off season for us, when we leave, I mean, we all, like we haven't seen our families, and it's hard to go to the games. But if the games are even like a longer season, and we can go there, and as WNBA players, like we're there. Like if imagine this, we're playing in Washington, it's the Wizards, and like we're there 2 days, right?
You want to go watch the Mystics play?
What? I'm there. Why would I? I'm bored. I'm in my room, but I'm not doing anything. I'm going to the game.
Yeah.
I'm there. Of course, I don't know what it costs and stuff like this, but I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our brand. We're all together.
True. But then you get into like it competes with the college schedules with both men's and women's college basketball. You're competing against the NBA. There's a window there where there's there's fewer sports going on in the summer. So I think, especially in its fledgling years, that it's it's set up for more success. Like you're competing against golf, racing, baseball. Really? I mean, now like football is starting to get into like some summer leagues and stuff. But there's fewer things to compete with that allows it to have more rating success.
I agree. I agree with that. But at the same time, I have a theory as well that the NBA is in the same time as baseball. Like finals at the same time as MLB and NFL and the 5 major sports. We all collide at some point together, right? With the NFL,
you're right.
Everybody. But the NBA doesn't care because the only thing they care about is growth.
But not everyone's going to Greece, who's an NBA player.
No, 100%. But I'm saying like, why do I say that? Because like, in some point, if you want to grow the product, you don't care. Same way, planes, 12 o'clock games. You know why it's 12? You know why games are 12 o'clock? Yeah. Because people keep saying like, 12 o'clock, for like schools and kids. It's actually 12 o'clock, not only for that. It's 12 o'clock for overseas. Right. Do you understand what happens overseas? When it's 12 o'clock here, overseas, it's 7 o'clock.
So it's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's prime time.
So now in Greece, I don't get to stay 4 o'clock in the morning. But you can only imagine the ratings. The whole country's watching the game.
Yeah. That is one difference with the WNBA, though. They do have noon games, one Eastern games. So
would you need more games?
Right.
I want more.
More
I want
games.
to watch more.
They're up to 40, but you want them to play a little bit deeper.
Like,
yeah.
And then I think that will help as well. Like a lot of players won't go overseas if you have a longer season. And you obviously longer season. What does longer season mean? More money, more games, more TV deals, more. They won't even go overseas. They will just stay here and play the whole season. You know what I mean? So that's something on.
But some of the marketing stuff, promotions, endorsements, that's going to change that. Elena Deladon, I think, was one of the first players to not go overseas and play because she was getting enough like Nike endorsements and all that and money. In that way, Caitlin Clark, if she doesn't want to, I mean, she's already. She's probably said Asia Wilson. I mean, some of those players, they're starting to build up.
Yes.
Right? That branding piece that hopefully they get paid enough. And then hopefully eventually you get to the point where the WNBA season is extended, like to your point, and the salary goes up, but you got to get the attendance. So that's why this year is such a big year for the league.
There was a situation that I read and then I didn't know that they said they fined the team. I don't know which team it was. To be honest with you, I don't want to misquote this or paraphrase this, but they fined the team because they were flying private or because they were flying not private.
It was a team out east,
Is that true?
It was true, yeah. But the charter situation has changed this year. So the WNBA has found some money, and they're going to be chartering these teams.
Wow, what about that?
So can you imagine? I mean, it used to be like that for the NBA, but can you imagine these days with the social media and the presence and people recognize players more now because of social media? Can you imagine the Milwaukee Bucks walking through and flying commercially?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I can imagine when I go off season. I'm not going to talk about how I fly, but when you go,
I mean, sure,
they're going to be like,
do it a little bit differently than other people, right? Yeah. But there's security concerns, there's safety concerns, there's all that. There's if your flight's delayed, it's so many complications. So kudos to the WNBA and the league for changing that this year.
Yes.
And that's what's going to be special about this 2024 class. I don't know if Enrique talked about that, but the 2024 class, I mean, meshing with all the great talent that's already in the league. They're going to be, game changers and enforcing the issue of change, positive change.
Yes. The same way the men did it during lockouts, doing collective bargainings for the next generation.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not to say that there weren't and there aren't so many talented players already, but for whatever reason, the Angel Reeses of the world and the Caitlin Clarks of the world are drawing in the non-women's basketball fans to watch women's basketball. Because it has been a little bit of a niche sport, and for whatever reason it is, like they're drawing people in now, and they're forcing change to happen that should have happened many years ago.
Should have happened. Okay. I wanna just I'm there. I don't wanna extend this more, but like, no, I'm not gonna extend it. Okay, what's your favorite sport play that you've ever called?
What's my favorite sport to play?
No, play
Oh,
like
to call.
sport play that happened in any sports that you called, and it was like, oh my god, it's amazing. Could be a
Oh,
dunk,
like
could
a
be a goal.
highlight?
Yeah, highlight that you called, and you were like, oh, this is amazing.
Maybe the Dame shot. Dame time
The Dame
shot.
shot,
Yeah, against Sacramento. Because, and here's the deal. It's like when he came to Milwaukee, you knew one of those. It wasn't a matter of if a Dame time shot was going to happen. It was when, right? When it's going to happen. And so that for it to happen at home, for it to happen at the time, you know, the whole season was very tenuous. So I just can't say that was like a really like stressful time, because you could pick like
anytime
that was a stressful time in the season. But I think for him too, personally, it was tough, and it was tough all season long. But I remember he had taken a couple games off leading into that game. And so it was just, so there were sometimes, like as a broadcaster, Thanasis, there's moments that you feel, that you really, really, like you feel it, like head to toe. And that Dame time moment was something that I just felt, like I got goosebumps. I remember Marcus Johnson was the analyst that night. And after it happened, he literally said on the air, I've got goosebumps. Like it's just, and I'm sure you did, you know, like, I mean, just jubilation and excitement.
I'm not gonna lie, I was looking on the side, and you know they had me on Twitter too, doing the shot.
Oh, that's right, you did the shot with him.
Like,
you did the shot
like,
with
him
because you knew it was going in.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's going in, because he leaned his body and he shot it.
Yeah.
And the way he shot it, I was like, oh my god, it's in.
What made you do that?
Because I felt it was going in. I just did. And that's why they've been like twice that sometimes sometimes it does go in, not always, but like sometimes I feel like is it going in, and one of those shots was going in. Now listen to the crazy part. If I said, "Oh guys, I knew it was going to go in," you guys
No
would be
one
like,
would believe you.
"Come on, man."
But because you
Come
were,
on, man. Like you that's cap, as they say. That's cap, TA. Like no. But then they saw the picture, like, dang.
Yeah.
So, and they have things like, oh my God, get you somebody who believes in you, like TA, get you something. Like they had all kind of like
right.
stuff. But like, I did get goosebumps, and then I still go in, and when it went in, I was like, and then I started running, because it was done, it was over.
Yeah.
Started running towards the court.
Right.
So
There was a Giannis dunk, not this year. Well, I mean, there's so many Giannis dunks, so you could just pick one, you know. But it was last year, and we were in Indy, and it was the same day that it was announced that he was going to be an All-Star captain again.
Yeah.
And I swear he took off from beyond the free throw line. And like, you know, you just never want, I don't know why people just even try to get in the way when he's, you know, about to take off and coming at you. But I can't remember the poor Pacer soul who did it, but it was a monstrous dunk, and it happened right in front of us. It's one of the places that we actually get to broadcast right on the court right by the bench. And my call was, "Oh, Captain, our captain," like when he threw it down. And so it was a Dead Poet Society reference. Any of those Dead Poet Society, you know, viewers out there would appreciate that. But some people got it, so it got clicked off on social media, and some people got the reference. But it's just like that dude is unbelievable.
He's all right.
I mean, you could pick
okay.
a thousand different things.
He could be better.
Just, like
He's
this
okay.
on the edge of your seat.
He could be better. Like I can't. You know, if I hear for one more time again, like Giannis is gonna be Giannis, or Dame is gonna be Dame, or like, Bron is gonna be Bron, or Jokic is gonna be Jokic, this guy's gonna be this guy. Like, stop doing this, because it's not normal. Steph is gonna be Steph. Well, stop doing this. These guys are doing something special, bro. And the only time that people are gonna realize that is when they stop. And once they stop, they're gonna be like, dang.
That's true. So you're saying when they say that, they're normalizing it. Giannis is going to be Giannis.
Yeah,
so what he does is almost supernatural, but they're normalizing it. Like, Giannis is going to be Giannis.
Yeah, and you know, and Dame is going to be Dame, and Jokic is going to be Jokic, and Bron is going to be Bron, and Steph Curry is going to be Steph Curry, and KD is going to be KD. Like, and Kyrie, oh my God, okay, Luka is Luka, and Kyrie is Kyrie. Like, no. Or, you know, Ant, okay, no, guys. What these guys are doing are top tier. If you like it or you don't like it.
It's
not
history
me.
and NBA history.
In general, like,
Yeah.
it's top tier. You know, they did the same thing with older guys. With Shaq, they did the same thing with like so many other. With D-Wade, like, oh yeah, you know, they. Like, I understand. That's what comes with it.
Yeah.
I get that, but like.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you a
Yeah.
question? Is that legal?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you think? I want to say the Giannis hate, but like the lack of Giannis appreciation. Like this year, it just floored me. The numbers he's putting up.
Yeah.
Career
So
high numbers, and he's not in the conversation for the MVP.
yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll tell you what it is. I think it's that first of all, if you've seen these numbers from anybody else, he's top one, top two.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody? You just change his just change his name. Change his name.
He's
and
the first player in NBA history this year to average 30 or more points with 60% accuracy from the field.
You see what she said? If I said it, you'll be like, ah, yeah.
Like
That's your man. That's your brother.
First of all, I'm actually shocked that it hasn't happened before. You think about all the great players
Yeah.
and stuff. There's some people that have shot 60%, but they haven't averaged 30. There's some people that have averaged 30, but haven't shot 60%. But just process that.
What does the 60% mean though, Lisa?
What does it mean?
Efficiency.
Accuracy, and
Accuracy.
consistency, and efficiency. That's what it means.
All the things. No, but I'm saying like because you know we just throw numbers out there and people just don't understand. They're like, oh yeah, okay, what does that 60% mean? 60% means that guys, he shoots it 10 times and 6 are going in.
Yeah.
You pass the ball to this guy 10 times.
And by the way, he's getting bumped and grabbed.
Yeah, he's getting bumped,
and
grabbed
pulled
by the
down,
neck.
And he's got to go through
One
four
of the plays
people
I
to
was
do
winning
it.
in the game.
and-
He's grabbed by the neck. He's doing this. They kick him, whatever. All right, it is what it is. It's a physical sport, but like it's not only Giannis. It's other players as well that have gone through this, and they will keep going through this. But what I want to say is that like some point like some appreciation has to be has to come from within.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? Like, those players have to start, like, you know, Giannis, like, the same thing. They have to start saying, like, hey, bro, I appreciate myself for doing this. I'm not saying you got to be complacent, but, like, damn, what I'm doing is crazy. And I say this to Yoki. I say this to Anthony. I said this to every other guy, LeBron, Steph, Curry. You know, LeBron won a championship and had a full minute and a half talking about the Lakers want their respect. You know, the coaches want their respect. The players want their respect. And I want my respect. That was he won a championship and said that. You know, you can understand where the mental process of some players is when it comes to like, guys, what I'm doing, I know you guys take it for granted, but like, it's, you know, man, it's like.
You think if Giannis was not as humble, to the media, that would help? Is that? Am I reading what
No,
you're saying?
I'm just saying, like, you gotta understand where is the mental process. Some people will voice it, some people won't voice it because some people are just worried about the other things. Some people are just, but I'm saying, like, you have to understand, he's one of the most accomplished players in our league.
Don't take it for granted.
Yes.
People, don't take it for granted.
Yeah, don't take nothing from him. Like, you know, and from some people. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you see people out there, but then, you know, don't play into the trap. Don't play into the comparison trap. Don't play like every one of those players is unique.
But I'm not just talking about comparison. Like I'm talking about the credit that he is due. Like just to get in the conversation. Sometimes he's not even the conversation this year for top 5 MVP candidates.
Oh yeah, but you know what it is too. Some awards. First of all, I saw this yesterday, and I don't know when this is gonna out this podcast. He wasn't in the top 2 teams, the all defensive players. So you're trying to tell me from those 10 guys,
Right.
that you'd rather not see them and see Giannis on defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
should.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's
You should,
okay,
like
but
anonymously, because then I think you get more, true answers. You should poll the players in the NBA. Like, here's 10 guys. Which one don't you want to
wanna
go
see?
against?
Which one don't you want to see? And this is, and again, like, it's crazy that you mentioned it, but I'll take it and run with it. I'm gonna take it and run with it. But like, it's not only it's credit, it's appreciation. It's that, guys, what is the motivation for players? How do you motivate this guy now? How do you motivate LeBron to keep being great? I was like, oh, just be great, bro. This is what it is. Giannis, just be great, bro. It is what it is. We'll see.
Yeah.
What do you? Oh, and okay, I understand the MVP conversation. I get there. It's like this, and that's a whole different story.
Look, and
But
I'll
like,
say this, though. I can't wait to see what happens next year.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm excited.
You got a year of Dame under everyone's belt and stuff, but with Giannis, like to see him pacing the sidelines during the playoffs, not being able to play, he's clenching his fist like I want to get in there, and then to hear what he said to the media at the end of the season, like I'm going to get better. And he's going to figure it out. He's going to figure out how to stay healthy, how to be, no one's going to be 100%, but he's going to figure it out. He always does. He's got the IQ. He's got the EQ and the IQ, and he'll figure it out. But I can't wait to see how last season motivates, especially him going into next year.
I mean, him, Dame, the rest of the supporting cast, we're great players. Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis. They got all of those guys, all to the end of the bench, all of them. Like, we're great players. Now, the thing I'm gonna hold dear is I'm so proud of this team. I'm proud of what I've learned with this team. I'm proud of how we finished up the season, even though up and down, we was able to compete. And even with injuries, we took the game as much as we could to where we want to take it, and not only injuries, mishaps too, in between the games, guys getting, ejected, this, that, but getting hurt, coming back, it was just an up and down, but stick with it, and ride and
you guys never had a chance to breathe.
Oh yeah, it's all right.
It all starts with the changing of the guard. Like even Terry Stotts leaving at the beginning of the season. It's like I'm not trying to. But that started. You had to scramble. You had to adjust. So he leaves. You scramble. You adjust. You're dealing with a new coach and Adrian Griffin, and you scramble and you adjust. He gets fired. You got Joe Prunty for a few games. You scramble. You adjust. You got Doc Rivers. You scramble. You adjust. And then what I felt coming out of the All-Star break and going into the playoffs, the time where you can not necessarily breathe to relax, but breathe because now there's consistency. And now all of a sudden your best player gets hurt.
Yeah.
And your second best. Your top two players get hurt in the postseason, the most important time. And the time where you feel here's consistency. Here's the time where the Bucks are now waiting for the Bucks are able to shine. And last season you just never got it. It was always one thing after another.
No, it is what it is. People say, "Oh, it's an excuse." No, it's an explanation. It is what it is. It's the facts. But the most important thing is it's crazy that you said all this. I picked 2 or 3 that I had in my mind, but all of these that you said is true. I didn't think about that. But and the reason I didn't think about that is because we have a job to do, one side, and the other thing is the culture of the team. I think. The job is oh man, I gotta get the job done. No matter what, I gotta get there. The culture is man, how can I keep these guys together? How can I keep the team together? How can I keep the winning mentality? How can I not only disguise the weaknesses? How can I get rid of the weaknesses? Players thinking about, oh my God, we lost or we didn't lose. All these things into place, and then obviously it's a little bit of luck too.
Yeah.
A little bit of luck.
Yeah. You got to be good. You got to be lucky, right?
Got to be healthy.
And you got to be healthy.
Oh.
That's the last thing.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let's go to the animal facts section.
Did you know that a snake has
no,
5 hearts?
This is it's true or false. I'll give you a true or false.
Okay.
Is it true or false? Oh, no. Which one I want to give you?
How long does it take you to research this stuff, by the way? I picture
not
you
too much. That's why we have
sitting on your phone.
Sometimes, but that's why we have it. My guy Tony
strange facts
here,
to use on a podcast.
The facts, they're gonna. So that I want you to get it wrong, but most.
Oh, you want me to get it wrong? Okay. So even if I know the answer, I'll pretend like I don't.
No.
Go ahead, hit me up.
No.
Hit me up.
So is it true or false that 90% of eagles' diet, like eagles, right?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Diet, it's rodents and mice and squirrels.
That's true.
It's actually false.
It's false.
Yeah, most of the diets of eagles are fish. I've even seen National Geographic. They go to lakes or rivers.
But so is it the 10% that are like rodents and?
Yeah, 10% of it they're like fish.
Huh.
I like
fish.
What do you call when you? Yeah. What do you call somebody who eats only fish?
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian. They're pescatarian. Most of the time, yep.
Eagles are pescatarians. The
Yeah.
more you
Quote
know
that.
on
Click that,
Thanalysis.
please. Yes. Let me give you another one. I'll give you another one. Hold up. Okay, is it true or false that gorillas aren't physically able to burp?
So that is not the direction I thought you were going. I'm thinking, can't rip out trees or whatever. Can't burp.
Can't burp.
That threw me for a curve. I'm gonna say that they can burp. So
Yeah. So it's false.
So it's
So
false.
you pick false. Oh,
Yeah.
So you're right. You're good.
Because
You're
it
right.
was such
It's
an
false
odd
because
question that
because when a gorilla burps, it's actually a sign of happiness.
Is that right?
Yeah, when they're happy, they just burp all
Oh,
the time.
wow. Huh.
All right.
So can I get away with that if the next time, instead of saying excuse me or someone else, I'll just say, hey.
Okay, I don't know if it works for us, but I know it works for them. And when they burp, they're happy. So, okay, so it's 1-1. Okay, let's
Okay.
tiebreaker.
Okay. Okay. Do you
Need
always
one.
give 3? Do your guess?
I give 3, but sometimes if it's 3-0, I'll give them more. I need to win one,
Oh, okay.
so I'll give them more if it's
Okay.
3-0.
But you know the answer, so I don't.
Yeah, I
understand
do
that.
know the answer. That's
But
the
it's
whole
not.
thing.
So it's not real competition. I'm
It
just
is
pointing that
competition,
out to
because
you.
it's my podcast.
Just-
I can just
okay.
make the rules. Okay, so is it true or false that only the half of a dolphin's brain sleeps at a time?
False.
It's actually true.
It's true.
Yeah, only half of it sleeps at a time.
What's the other half doing?
It stays awake to be alert for predators.
Wow.
See, so they just sleep like this.
Yeah. Do you know how
Crazy.
much more productive humans could be if they operated in the same way? Like
Way-
half
way
the
more.
time you could be awake, get some work done, but then the other half of
You
your brain
sleep.
is sleeping. So you
So
knock
I
two birds out with one stone.
Yeah, I love sleep in general, but for some reason I don't know why, I'm more productive when I'm running on adrenaline. I don't know why. Like if I'm tired, I just really zero in and focus. I don't know. Some people are like that. I don't know. You find some people be like, I want to sleep 4 hours a day. You're like, how are you doing
Kind of
this?
like that, I guess.
Some
Like when
people-
you got a lot going on,
Yeah, some
and,
people
and you
just-
got to be focused. You have no choice. That's
Yeah.
why. You have no
And
choice
then
to
you
wander.
see other people just like all day, like they sleep all day, and then it's 1 a.m. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm doing real estate. I'm working on my what? What are you doing? I'm looking at houses. I'm looking at plots. I can't talk to you right now. It's 1 a.m. Why are you not asleep?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but like, yeah, I can see why people are like that though.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So if you didn't do your job now, what would you want to be if you wasn't a
Good question. I'd be one of two things. I'd either be a lawyer or I'd be a basketball coach.
basketball coach?
Yeah. So my dad was my high school basketball coach.
Oh, okay.
And always grew up loving it. And there was actually a time
Yes.
that I was clearly making a decision between broadcaster, basketball coach.
Yeah.
And I went to a college coach at
Yeah.
the time and expressed my desires. And so it was Susie Merchant, actually at Michigan State. I haven't really told this story, but shout out to Susie. At the time, and she said, "Hey, you know what? Just come in and watch film with us. Like, see what we can do, and if this is something that you want to do, like you'll get a taste of it, right?" So I had to make a decision, but then I decided to go broadcasting because I decided this: I felt like if I made the wrong choice, returning into the basketball world, whether it be director of operations or something like that, that would be easier for me to circle back than in broadcasting. Like broadcasting is kind of a hard thing to get into sometimes. So I just said, you know what? I just felt like I wasn't making a lot of money. I was working a lot of hours.
Yeah.
I just felt like, you know what? I could be close in broadcasting. I just want to give it a few more years. And
Boom.
I gave it a few more years, and
The big bang.
I've never looked back.
It's okay, but why lawyer?
I like to argue.
You like to argue?
Yeah.
No.
I wanted to be like in court and presenting cases.
Give me a scene. Give me a court scene. Give me something.
Well, shoot, like criminal cases would just get, all the nitty gritty that you get into that. But I think I just would love, it would have to be, something involving the jury. Because I would just love the presentation of it,
you
I was
like,
a kid.
objection.
Yeah, exactly.
Sustained.
Right. Perfect.
And then you like do your thing and the explanation why and the evidence. And,
Oh yeah, all the time.
so I know for sure you watch.
I was a debater, you know.
Debater.
Yeah. I took debate in high school. Did oratory. They had this thing called forensics where you could do all these different things. And so I was in oratory.
Yes.
I had to memorize an 8-minute speech and present it. Okay. I ended up winning the state championship like my first year. Like I didn't even know what I was doing, but like convinced enough people that I knew what I was doing and my speech and all that stuff. The speech was called A Comeback Kid. And it was all these different examples of people who came back after adversity.
Yeah.
And so I've always wanted to like present,
Yeah.
you know, a case or a speech or something like that. It's always just kind of in my blood. So that's where the lawyer thing.
Okay, so what's been the most difficult thing? Like, think about either your life or like now with the NBA or like
Being on the
calling
Thanalysis show.
like, is it difficult? No, it's not.
It's not.
Oh, don't listen there, man. It's the easiest
No,
thing
it's
ever.
not. You know, I think it's, you know, I'm reminded that I'm one of the few female broadcasters in the NBA.
You are a
right?
pioneer though. One
Right?
of like one of like first female like to
Yeah,
do like
yeah. And so I understand that. I don't think about it like during games. You
Yeah.
know, when you put on your headset, you're thinking about just being a broadcaster. And I've always said I want to eliminate the adjectives first and female, like the first female broadcaster to do this. But there's always a doubt. There's always criticism. There's always that. And no matter what I'm doing with the NBA, or I mentioned the NCAA tournament for men's college basketball, there's always something, you know? And so when you talk about being focused and putting the blinders on, that's what I have to do. I have to be focused and put the blinders on and just really listen to, I got great advice, Thanasis one time, where, you know, those like little sticky notes that are about this big, that you can put on and remind yourself of things. And so someone said, look, if you can't fit the person's name on that sticky note, then they don't matter. Then don't listen to them, you know? And so you can appreciate, just keep your circle tight.
Yeah.
And listen to the people who give you real feedback. But that was, I think, when I started to do football and started to find myself in spaces where there aren't a whole lot of female broadcasters. I think that was tough, you know, because it was tough to not listen to the criticism. But here's also the deal. You shouldn't listen to all the hype, too, because it can be equally as dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're listening to both sides, everyone thinks, oh, with social media, you're listening, you know, listening to the negativity or whatever. But the positivity, if you dive into that, that can be equally as paralyzing as listening to the negativity. So I think focusing on the things I need to focus on as the jobs get bigger, the stage gets bigger, was a huge challenge for me.
Man, you know what you said about the socials too, like diving in the positive and the negative. I don't think people be like, you know, on social media be like, oh my God, look at this negative stuff, and people keep saying like, no, just listen to the positive. But it doesn't work that way. You should just be even.
Yeah.
You know, when they tell me, oh my God, you're so bad, then I'm like, okay, I'm not really that bad. But then when they tell you, oh my God, you're so good, I'm not really that good. I'm okay.
Look,
you know, just be in the middle. It's like eating. Have you ever noticed like when you eat something sweet all the time and then you try something that's salty, it's actually, you feel saltier than what it actually is. No, seriously. It's because it's the same thing. If you eat something salty, if I go there now and eat like spice and salty, and then I eat like something like a dessert, it's going to feel sweeter than it actually is. Mm-hmm. You know? So it's kind of the same.
Like, look, like we all know what we did right.
Yeah.
And we all know what we did wrong. So you don't, like, Giannis doesn't need Bucks fan 0536 on, you know, X or social media or Instagram to tell him what he did right or wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And if he needs some advice or if he needs some encouragement or if he needs to see something out of his own box, what does he do? He turns to you, he turns to his coaches, he turns to his support system. And so it's
Or
the same
inward,
thing.
or inward, be like, hey, what am I doing bad?
Yeah.
You know, self reflective somehow.
You don't need someone you don't know to tell you you're doing a great job or you need to improve in this way.
It's fans. I mean, you have a lot of fans. You know, like what do you like? How do you handle? Like, have you ever had a fun interaction with your fans or?
You know, they're like when you walk the concourse level.
Yeah.
Like before games, it's like sometimes I don't know if you feel the same way, but you forget like who you are, right?
Yeah.
And like, cause you're just you know you're thinking about the job you got to do that day, or like on game day or something. Maybe I'm running to the restroom or something like that, you know. And so there's fans that will scream out to you, you know. And it's just I am the person on TV that never wants that like didn't get into TV to be recognized or to be known.
Yeah.
Like I just got into it because I love it, you know, and I'm passionate about it. And so, yeah, anytime I hear like, I love it. Bucks fans, I love it. You know, I love talking to you because you get the fan perspective, which I appreciate. But it's still a little weird when someone's, you know, yelling out Thanasis or Lisa or Giannis. Or you just have a different level of that. But
no, but I understand what you mean. But like,
you know, it means a lot to me, to answer your question.
Wow.
You know, we talk about being a female broadcaster, and everyone immediately translates to you can make an impact for a lot of little girls out there, you know. And so there was actually, but I always say, I want to make an impact for some of the little boys too that are watching, because that's how you normalize it. If you're a little boy or you're a little girl and you're watching a Bucks game and you hear my voice and that's what you know, and you're not thinking, oh, like gender-wise, oh, that's a woman calling the game or that's a man calling the game. That's when we make progress. When you start becoming background noise and you don't start thinking, who's that female announcer calling the game?
You can become a great person for a role model.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's just an announcer. It's you know what it is? It's an announcer calling the game. So one of those concourse meetings with a fan was to introduce his son, who loved me. You know, and that to me meant something, because now it's important. It's important to reach all kinds of fans, right? But it's important to reach the little girl, and I am not minimizing that at all. But to have a little boy who's like 9 or 10 years old and saying, I love listening to you on Bucks games, that's, to me, that meant a lot. And that to me, you knew you were making progress with things.
So, okay. So you're not entertaining, and that's when he likes and loves you. But let's say, like, what is your, you know, for somebody who hasn't listened to you, because a lot of people would watch this from everywhere and might not listen. Maybe it's the first time they see you actually on the show. Maybe you never know. But people who listen to you, what is your phrase? Like, let's say Mike Green has the bang, three, bang. You know, like what's your
I love if you get like a strong and one. I do like a body bucket and one kind of thing. I love that.
Okay.
I'll try to throw that in like at least once a game. You know, Mike's bang is his thing.
He's legendary. You know? That's legendary.
Wayne Larrivee with the Packers dagger. That's another thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I don't have anything like that. But here's what I like is that I like also announcers who keep it authentic and unique each game winner or each highlight thing, you know, because it sounds different, right? If you put all together like your highlights and stuff, it's not going to be the same thing over and over again that you're hearing. It's going to be something unique and different to that moment or that player. Yeah.
I think, but I think some point, because you're so talented and so entertaining too, like, I think some point, like you're gonna say something and people are gonna like.
You got something for me?
No, I don't. But like, I'm not there yet.
You got some options?
Let me think. I'm not joking. I got you. Let me think. But you're gonna say something, and people are gonna be like, I don't know. They're gonna go ballistic on Twitter one time, and then I think you're gonna say it every time after that. For some place, not every time. Because I don't think he says bang every time. He doesn't. He does
not. No, I'm not. And then I'm not saying Mike Breen says it.
Yeah, no, but Mike Breen, but
sometimes he says it twice.
Yeah.
That's when you know you have a killer play.
That's how you know you have a good game, when you like
bang,
they shoot
bang.
a 3, they play deep, they got another steal, fast break, shoot another 3.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that got stuck from the finals, from the playoffs. You know, I think he's stuck. Like, we got to give you that. You know, you here, we got to get.
It's got to be authentic.
Yeah.
It's got to be authentic.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. We'll see that. So, you know, I know you said you've talked before about the finals and everything, but I don't want to. You know, I mean, I have respect for your time, and I don't want to like end the show like this. But like, what is something that keeps you going every day? What is something that you tell yourself, or maybe it could be a quote, or it could be a story of you, or what is something that motivates you every day to be your best version of yourself?
That's a great question. You know, I always tell people, don't let someone's no be your no. Okay. Meaning, like, we're all going to get rejections. We're all going to get no's. We're all going to get something like a job that we want, or making a sports team, and we're going to be told that we're not good enough, you know? Yeah. And so it has happened to me before. But you just truly believe in something for yourself. And if you're passionate about something, I never let someone else's no be my own no. So I just kept going. And, you know, whether it's a straight path, sometimes it's A to B, and sometimes it's more, you know, circular.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to take a couple steps back, right, to move forward. But that to me is what keeps me going.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's dope. It's dope. Don't let nobody else's no be your no. You heard that? Mrs. Lisa here. Oh my God. Okay, now we're going to another end of the show. This is my worst part, actually.
This is the worst part?
Yeah, because I don't want to end the show, but people got stuff to do. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. You know, please follow Lisa on your socials.
Lisa Byington. It's real
Byington.
easy.
On Twitter X/X.
Yep.
On Instagram. I don't know. Do you have TikTok? Do you have the other stuff, or?
I haven't gotten into the other stuff.
Okay, you don't have
It's
TikTok,
too
sorry.
much.
That's like, okay.
It's too much. It's too much.
Okay. Yeah, but please follow her. She's amazing. When this episode come out, please go and spam her comments and stuff like that with Thanalysis. We came from Thanalysis, etc. But again, thank you. Can't thank you guys so much. Like, you guys have been amazing. If you guys want to watch the show, YouTube, Thanalysis show. If you guys want to subscribe, please share, you know, comment, positive, negative. Feedback is always amazing. And if you want to listen to it, we're available in every podcast, every platform, wherever you get your podcast from. We're there. You know, let's run it up. I wish you guys a great summer, and see you guys next week, Tony. Next week. Ciao. Thanalysis is recorded at No Studios, Milwaukee's creative hub and production studio.